Hello guys, so this will be a video about my initial test ride on a 2019 Royal Enfield Himalayan. So to bring the bike home, I got that rental from U-Haul, an enclosed trailer, and here is the bike. Brought it into the trailer, strapped it down in an upright position, and it made the almost 300-mile trip back home. So I'm glad it came in one piece, it didn't fall on the side. And once I had it strapped in like this, before transportation, put it in first gear, and it made it safely. Used a total of 5 straps, and the bike weighs about 421 pounds. The wheelbase is 58 inches, holds about 4 gallons of fuel, which is about 15 liters. So all in all, initial inspection showed that everything is still there and that nothing was broken. So I used my motorcycle ramp to roll the bike off slowly, and it came out of the trailer without any issue. Nothing was broken, nothing damaged, and I was very pleased. So this is what the instrument cluster looks like. You have a pair of keys. Thankfully, the second key is protected by a rubber sleeve. You turn it on. You have the gear indicator, neutral in the center of the stack, and on the left you have the gear indicator that shows 0 right now, which means I'm in neutral. I love the controls. Everything is within easy reach. See if we get the bike started. It has that choke control, which you can use to enriching the air fuel mixture, make it easier to start and warm up on colder days. So you can get it started. On the left you see the speedometer, very big dial, easy to see your speed when you're riding. And I like that on the front you have those pannier holders, which you can use to put maybe fuel tanks or attach additional accessories. So when I arrived, it was actually late at night. You can see how beautiful the gauge looks at night. They're backlit. I believe the manual says by LED light bulbs. So it's really nice. And this is the bike when it's out, when I got it out for the first time. I really love the design. Attention to detail. You can see every single part, just like the Mahindra Roxor, is verified and signed off. The critical things, there you can actually see where they put Loctite, red Loctite, that's on the front fork. There you have the ABS sensor on the wheel, rear brake fluid reservoir, and the bike is air cooled, and there's an additional oil cooler which you can see right there. And that's the horn. Sounds really good. The front forks, the engine, the temperature sensor, the spark plug, and that's the top of the cylinder. It's kind of old school design on this engine, so maintenance is going to be about every 3,000 miles. You will have to take off that top and adjust the valves. Single caliper in the rear and 2 calipers up front. You have halogen bulbs for the rear brake light and turn signals. And there you have the monoshock in the in the rear with it has about 7.1 inch of travel. The front travels about 7.9 inches. Rear tire is 17 inches, and for the United States it's made by Pirelli MT60. Halogen headlight up front, and you can see the windshield. Beautiful and simple instrument cluster. So the bike is really well put together, not very loud, so I love the exhaust notes. So these are just some details. Closer look at the bike. And you can see the marks from the inspector who checked the front brake discs. So the bike became available in India in 2016, and that initial bike was BS3 compliant. It had a carburettor with tires made by CE80. I don't know, I'm not sure about the correct pronunciation. Well, that's the company that made the tire. But for the international version that went to the Philippines, Australia, and the United Kingdom, those ones had electronic fuel injection and also ABS. So got on the bike, just go for a quick spin. Already I am impressed by the torque. The bike actually pulls itself with ease. And since I am still braking in the engine, I did not try to rev really hard or pick up speed too fast. Just take it for a nice, slow, leisurely spin and see how the bike feels. So far, all the controls seem quite tight, and I was actually very impressed on this little stretch of dirt road where all the bumps and irregularities of the road just got swallowed by the suspension system of the bike. Everything seems so very compliant, yet not too loose. Had absolute control of the bike. The throttle is very responsive, but not crazy so. The steering wheel, the handlebars, they're wide, so they give you quite a bit of leverage when turning. And even though the material on the road surface is loose, the bike still tracked forward in a straight line when I wanted it to. So my previous bikes were a Honda CBR 900 and also a Yamaha R1, and those bikes, when I ride them on these dirt roads or this type of surface roads, they are very, very tough because the suspensions on them are so stiff. So here the suspension is very compliant, and it's a huge difference. The power delivery also is very linear and predictable. No surprises. Vibration is minimal considering that this is a single. And I could just barely get a sense that the bike is a little bit has a smaller displacement compared to what I used to ride before. But that is not so apparent because of course I didn't take the bike well, I did not get the bike to be doing races. It's just to go slowly on dirt roads and enjoy the view. So here, with a street bike, you would have a really hard time, you have a really hard time doing such a tight turn. But with this bike, I was impressed with the turning radius. That is just a small incline with very sharp rocks. So I was just trying to see if how much low I could go on the engine RPM while maintaining control of the bike. So it did very well, and turned around and back on the road. That little windshield, maybe at higher speeds it provides more protection, but at the slow speeds I was going, you could definitely feel the wind hit your face. So I would think if you're going to do like serious riding in inclement weather, you might need better protection or a larger windshield. And the clutch is very progressive. It was very easy to know when it grabbed. It didn't take me long to get used to that, and everything seems to be working so fine. The ride also was quite smooth, so that would indicate the wheels are well balanced. Nothing jerky, nothing rough. It was just smooth sailing. It was really hard to tell I was on a single engine bike. Here we do a turn. So I was quite satisfied after this ride. Everything seems to be working good. No strange noises. And as a bonus, the bike actually has a center stand, which is quite useful for adventure bikes because they get loaded up with luggage and stuff when people have to travel. So what you guys just watched was actually my second ride. This, I believe, was the first ride. Let's take a quick look there. You can see the headlight. Bike is running. You cannot turn off the headlight. Once you start the bike, the headlights come on. You can do high beam, low beam, but you can't turn it off. The BS6 models for 2020, from my understanding, they have the switchable ABS, and then they also have a hazard warning switch. This bike doesn't have that. You just have the turn indicators. So 24.5 horsepower. That's the power output of the LS410 engine. It is 411 cc's, the single overhead cam, fuel injected, 5-speed manual, 1 down, 4 up. Compression ratio on the engine is 9.5:1, and it's a 4-stroke engine. So the price is quite within the reach of most people. Some who might decide to get a used, Japanese or European bike, but then somebody has already put some miles on it. You don't know how hard those miles were. It just made more sense, to get something which is a fresh design from the ground up. From the engine to the frame, everything was designed from the ground up, and got to the market in 2016. And you basically getting the bike brand new, and you know all of its history. And these are also designed for use in India, where conditions at times are very harsh and people can go for quite a while before between service intervals. So on that in that sense, you can tell that the bike will be durable. So again, that's just a repeat of what you saw earlier, the key, and then starting up the bike. I really love the instrument cluster. So I think you saw this clip already. Well, that's what I had to share with you guys for today. My initial thoughts on the Royal Enfield Himalayan. I think it's a great bike, and for a budget, you get into the middleweight adventure category. Thanks for watching, and see you guys on the next video.